isn't just about getting stronger in the gym. It's about becoming stronger in every aspect of life. From building mental resilience to transforming body image and confidence, lifting weights has the power to shape who you are beyond just aesthetics. What if I told you that lifting weights has the power to transform more than just your body? That it's not just about muscle definition or PRs, it's about the confidence you build, the resilience you develop, and the way you start carrying yourself inside and outside of the gym. Strength training isn't just a workout, it's a mindset shift, a lifestyle, and one of the most powerful tools for personal growth. In today's episode, we're diving deep into how strength training goes beyond aesthetics. We'll talk about progressive overload and how it applies to life, the mental toughness built through time under tension, and why the real results of lifting weights have nothing to do with the scale. If you've ever felt like fitness is just about looking a certain way, this episode is here to change that perspective. Because when you realize how strong you actually are, you stop settling for anything less inside and outside of the gym. Let's get into it. I am so excited to talk about today's topic because there is so much inspiration and empowerment from strength training because it genuinely changes who you are and how you think. And it's one of those things that seems so seemingly insignificant, but when you start to establish routine and you build that consistency and you start showing up for yourself, it creates this incredibly positive domino effect where you start showing up in every other aspect of your life. And it's just incredibly powerful what can happen when you leave behind the idea that you have to be thin enough or that you shouldn't lift heavy weights because you'll be bulky. There is so much misinformation out there. So today we're going to debunk it, we're going to get into it, and then we're going to apply it to life so you can see how getting stronger will resonate in every aspect of what you do. Progressive overload is one of my favorite things to teach people because there's so much power behind it. It creates growth in strength, but also strength in life. Progressive overload is the foundation of strength training. But it's also a powerful mindset shift because you continually have to push past previous limits and it leads to transformation inside and outside of the gym. So what is progressive overload? I'm sure a lot of you guys are not trainers and you probably think it's a buzzworthy topic, but progressive overload is the gradual increase of weight, reps, or intensity that challenges the body and forces adaptation. Just like the muscles when they grow because they're consistently pushed, personal growth happens when we challenge ourselves to step outside of our comfort zones. Make this make sense in real life, right? Think about starting a new job. On day one, everything feels overwhelming, but as you take on new tasks and you push yourself a little bit more each day, what once felt difficult becomes second nature. That is progressive overload in action. Just like increasing weight in the gym strengthens your muscles, increasing challenges in life will strengthen your mindset because growth happens when you push past what's comfortable. And when you start to do this consistently over time, you will be significantly more successful because you keep building upon the foundation that once was so shaky and now is a force that can be reckoned with because you will realize that there is nothing that you are not capable of achieving. So let's take it beyond the gym, that's so funny, and apply it to life. The principle of adding small challenges over time applies to everything. Career growth, personal development, relationships. The more you stretch your limits, the more capable and confident you become. Strength training is a reminder that discomfort isn't a sign to stop, it's a sign that you're growing. Imagine training for a 5K, which if you listen to the episode where we talked about She Is Football, you know I did a 5K without training, which is still in my mind. But think about it. If you're trying to actually train for a 5K, at first running half a mile feels impossible. But slowly increasing your distance and effort, your endurance builds. The same applies to any goal in life. Small, consistent challenges lead to big results. So strength isn't built overnight. Whether in the gym, your career, or your relationships, pushing yourself a little further each time is what's going to create that lasting transformation you're inherently seeking, but you're not initially focused on. One important thing is measuring progress, strength versus aesthetics. It is so easy to focus on how you look, but the real measure of progress is what your body can do. Lifting heavier, like it gives you the sensation where you're feeling more energized. When you start lifting heavier, you start feeling more energized. You start to realize your own capabilities are far more rewarding than any number that's going to be reflected on the scale. So a real life example of this is that you might step on the scale and you see no change. But when you realize, hey, I'm lifting 20 pounds heavier than I was 2 weeks ago, you get more engaged, you get more energized, and then you kind of stand a little bit taller, a little more confident, because that's real progress. A key takeaway here is that instead of focusing on how you look, which is so easy to say, not easy to do, focus on what your body's capable of doing. Think about what you weren't capable of doing when you started. Strength training isn't about capability. It's about capability. It's not just about aesthetics. And so as much as people want to look a certain way or have a certain physique, it's really about what you're capable of doing and how well you can do it. A second concept that is critical in getting stronger inside and outside of the gym is time under tension. It's the key to strength and mental toughness. Time under tension, or you'll sometimes see it written as TUT, it's what teaches patience, endurance, and resilience, both in training and in life. Slowing down and staying in control makes you stronger, not just physically, but also mentally. Time under tension is what they refer to the actual duration a muscle is under strain during an exercise. The longer the muscle is engaged, the more it grows. In life, the more we stay present and push through discomfort, the stronger we become, which is why if you ever take one of my freaking classes, I harp on time under tension and slowing each rep down. It is not cute to go fast. It is also not effective to go fast. Strength should be strength training, and that's the one disservice that all group fitness is doing, is that you're claiming workouts are strength training or that you have strength training components, but you're out here working for time. People are doing 20 reps. They're doing the same weight for every exercise, for every set, and then you wonder why those quick results you got, you still look the same 3 months later, and it's because you're not actually doing strength training. You're just participating in strength training components. Make this make sense, right? Real life example. Imagine holding a plank for 30 seconds, first rushing through those crunches. The longer you hold, the more challenging it becomes. Life works the same way. The longer you push through discomfort, the stronger you get. Strength literally comes from endurance, not speed. When you slow down and stay in control, you actually maximize your results. So how do you build mental resilience through time under tension? Slowing down a movement, whether it's a squat, a deadlift, or even a push-up, forces you to sit in the discomfort rather than rush through it. This is what builds patience, control, and the ability to push past mental barriers. It's a reminder that strength isn't just about the lift, it's in your ability to endure the lift. Think about difficult conversations in life. This is how you can apply it to real life. If you rush to respond, you might react emotionally. Hello, story of my previous life. I used to literally react in the moment and would not be proud of things I said. And now something I do when I'm in uncomfortable conversations or I don't feel ready to respond to something, I take a deep breath, I sit in it, I really think about the conversation, what's happening, and then I think, how can I handle the situation with strength and clarity? A key takeaway here is that learning to endure the discomfort in the gym literally is how it's going to teach you to stay strong and stay strong under pressure in everyday life. Now, why slowing down yields more results, right? Because you're probably still a little skeptical. Fast reps may look impressive, but slow, controlled movements maximize muscle engagement and efficiency. The same applies to life. When you slow down, focus on intention, stay present in the process, you see better results in the long run when you do. So think about it. Picture somebody that is like bouncing through their squats versus somebody that is slowly lowering with control. The second person engages more muscles, they build strength faster, and they avoid injuries. Whether you're lifting in life or slowing down, staying present and embracing the challenge, that's what's going to yield to long-term greater success. So let's talk about results, because getting results is the reason why most people are in the gym. We know this, but the unseen wins beyond the scale are far more important. The most life-challenging results from strength training tends to not actually be physical. They show up in your energy, your confidence, the way you carry yourself in everyday life. Increased strength and performance is being able to lift heavier or complete a workout you once thought was impossible. That's going to build confidence like nothing else. You start to realize that if you can conquer challenges in the gym, you can conquer challenges anywhere. Think of a real life example like this. Remember when you were struggling with your first push-up or maybe your first deadlift? Now you're able to crank out those push-ups, or you're going up in weight with your deadlift. More reps are completed, heavier weight, and you're doing it with ease. The same happens in life. What once felt impossible becomes a part of your norm. I think about where I'm personally at now, and even 6 months ago, I would have never believed the life I'm living now was possible, let alone that I was capable. But it's something that we all have to tap into, that progress isn't just about where we start, it's about how much stronger you become along the way. Another benefit by embracing not just the physical results is that as you get more consistent in strength training, you have more energy, and as a result, you actually can decrease your stress. So strength training doesn't just change your body, it actually regulates your hormones, it improves your sleep, and it also releases endorphins that make you feel powerful. It's a natural stress reliever that leaves you energized and actually mentally more clear. If you've ever had a bad day, you hit the gym, and suddenly you feel like you can take on the world, that's not a coincidence. That's your body releasing endorphins, your natural stress relievers. Lifting doesn't just make you stronger, like we've said 57 times now, it makes you feel better. Improving your mood, energy, and focus is literally setting you up for success as you go into a meeting or to a big project. It's going to give you a better outlook and mindset than you had going into it, especially when you're in a position where you're working from fatigue, because then you start to feel like you're a failure. Another really incredible benefit, focusing on not just physical results, is when you start to focus on the longevity and health benefits. Lifting weights isn't just about looking good today, it's about keeping your body strong for years to come. Strength training improves bone density, it supports joint health, and it enhances metabolic function, which helps you stay stronger and active as we are all literally aging as we speak. Think about somebody who's in their 70s that strength trains. They move with ease, their bones are stronger, they maintain independence. It's proof that lifting isn't just about today, but it's about the years to come. It literally yields long-term success. It's not about short-term results. You're truly making an investment in your long-term health and the quality of your life when you implement strength training into your routine. Now, let's talk about one of the hardest topics, body image. How can we reframe how we see ourselves so that while we're in the thick of our journey, we don't get offset by when we have a setback, or when, you step on the scale and it reflects something you don't see, or a pair of jeans don't fit great. News flash before we get into this. Y'all, if you want to grow glutes, forewarning that your body physically has to change, and muscle mass is going to mean that things are going to fit different. You can't stay the way you are and specifically only change certain parts of your body. It's just not possible. So if you're one of these baddies out there that's trying to grow your glutes, just know things are going to be fitting tighter, because you literally are going to grow that backside, but your body has to transform in order to grow your glutes. So let's talk about it. Strength training shifts the way we focus from how our body looks to what our body can do, which establishes a new sense of appreciation and confidence to have a body that is able and capable. When we shift the focus from trying to shrink and be smaller to getting stronger, instead of trying to work out to be smaller or to look like your favorite influencer, strength training encourages you to work out to be stronger. The moment you shift your goal from weight loss to capability, you will start appreciating your body and the power behind it rather than just your appearance. Real life example. I know that we all have been in the same boat that we used to think about burning calories because that is like what everybody talked about back in the day. And now you see more and more people talking about the weight they lifted, focusing on hitting personal bests, like hitting their PRs. That shift from punishment to empowerment is everything in life. It truly is like such a blessing that we have come so far on this topic. We still have so much work to do, but I just love that there are genuinely fit, healthy people out there on social media showcasing heavy loads, slow movement patterns, limited reps. It's not this weird, incessant obsession in Tampa specifically. That's just where I live, where everybody is like weirdly wearing a badge when they do multiple workouts. It's so crazy to me to see people that don't rest and like don't take breaks. They don't have days off. And everybody weirdly thinks like it's so cool. But the people that are doing what they think is the most tend to be the people that have like a lack in results because they're overdoing it. And most of the people don't compensate or adjust their caloric intake for their activity level. And as a result, they plateau. And it's why they look the same. So a good key takeaway here is that strength training moves you from being obsessed to losing to celebrating gaining strength, gaining confidence, and gaining self-worth. That is a freaking game changer in life. Another really amazing benefit is just building confidence through capability. Lifting teaches you that you are capable of more than you think. Whether it's hitting a new personal best in the gym or showing up for yourself when you don't feel like it, that confidence radiates into every area of your life, which will make you feel unstoppable and help you to tap into the reality that you actually are unstoppable and there's nothing that you can't do. A real life example is if you ever walk out of the gym after hitting a personal best, you feel like the shit. Like you feel like you can take on anything. That confidence will spill over into your work, your relationships, and your everyday challenges as a result in the best possible way. And so because of that, confidence becomes not centered around how you look, but it becomes about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined possible. Now let's talk about the real aesthetic results. While strength training does shape your body and define your body, the real transformation happens internally. You will walk taller, you will feel more empowered, you will develop a level of self-respect that no number on a scale can ever provide. Because of that, somebody who lifts consistently, when they look in the mirror, they're going to see power, not just a reflection or size on a pair of pants. Their posture, energy, and overall just self-respect will radiate and shine through because the real transformation, it's not external. And I know we all strive to feel confident and want to feel a certain way in clothing, but you genuinely will carry yourself different. You'll respect yourself and it'll establish you to set boundaries because you will know your own worth. Now, the biggest and most important phase of this conversation is mindset. Strength training is the mental game changer. Lifting weights is about more than just muscle. I know that's hard to believe. It's really about rewiring your mind to be disciplined, resilient, and confident. How? because we have to transition from self-doubt to self-belief, and the gym is one of the best places to build confidence. Every time you lift something heavier than before, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. That mindset shift carries over into your daily life, making you more fearless in everything you do. Real life example. The first time you walked into a gym, I'm sure you felt intimidated. I know I sure as hell did. Now you walk in there because it's become like a second home. You own the place. You know everybody that's there. You all work out at the same time. Everybody's chatting. They're engaging. They're supportive. It's really that self-belief in action that comes from that consistency, because strength training teaches you that fear and doubt don't define you. Actually, your actions do. What's one incredible thing that really does happen over time is that discipline over motivation becomes a key foundation. Motivation, you guys all know, I did a whole ass podcast about this, is temporary. Discipline is what keeps you going. Strength training teaches you that success can't be about a feeling, because you're not going to want to work out every single day and you're not always going to want to work out. But you have to show up anyways on the days when you have scheduled workouts. This lesson applies to business, relationships, and personal growth. You don't always feel like working out. You don't always feel like going to work. But some days we have to show up anyways because we have things to do. That same discipline applies to everything you do. When you start showing up for yourself, your own goals, your own desires, your own needs, your entire life will elevate. The motivation that you once relied on, it's faded at this point. And now we are just rolling with discipline, because that's what's going to keep you progressing when that excitement wears off. One thing I feel like that is secondary and you don't necessarily think about it is the fact that overcoming failure and setbacks becomes a norm when you start working out. You think about misreps, plateaus, like the tough training days, you know they're inevitable, but you push through them. It builds resilience. In life and in the gym, it's an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and come back stronger. One fantastic example, honestly, because you see it time and time again when you're working out, is that you attempt a PR, right? You're trying to push like 40s on a shoulder press. You fail. The weights don't make it up. You reset and you try again until you hit it. Time and time again. Life is the exact same way. Failures are never the end. They're just part of the process. Sometimes that's your ability to be redirected so that you can become more aligned with the path that you're supposed to even be on. And eventually you end up getting to where you're supposed to get to. You'll eventually achieve what you want to achieve. And 9 times out of 10, it's better than what you expected. Strength training teaches you about resilience. When you fail, you don't quit, you don't walk away, you adjust, you push through, and you come back stronger, which literally should be a motto for life. Final thoughts on this. Strength training should be a lifestyle. Lifting weights is more than just a workout. It's a way to build confidence, resilience, and a mindset that refuses to settle. Every rep, every challenge, every breakthrough is a reminder that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. So I'm going to ask you a closing question today. What is one way strength training has transformed you beyond the physical? Share your thoughts and keep lifting each other up. If you follow me on social media, share your thoughts in the comments. It's always so refreshing and enlightening to hear how people resonate with what's being shared in the podcast. All right, fam, that's a wrap on today's episode. I hope this fired you up to see strength training as more than just a workout. It's a mindset, a confidence booster, and a game changer for how you show up in your life. So next time you step under that barbell or you pick up those dumbbells, remember, you're not just lifting weights, you're lifting yourself to a whole new level. If you loved this week's episode, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would go and leave a 5-star review. Your support helps me bringing the heat every single week. And don't forget, my book, which is so crazy to say, The Badass Blueprint, is officially out on Amazon. There's a paperback and a hardback option. This truly is a curated step-by-step guide to transforming not just your body or your mindset or your confidence, but honestly, your entire life. Grab your copy and let's level up together. Also, don't forget to tag me on social media at Gina Marie Fit and at the Unfiltered Trainer, and let me know how this has helped change your life. I honestly, genuinely love hearing from you guys. So keep me posted on how you're doing, how you're implementing the book. And until next time, keep showing up, keep lifting heavy, and keep being the badass you were meant to be, because I'll see you in the next episode.